And welcome back to another podcast with Mr. Hagan. On this podcast, I'm going to continue talking about the personal income tax formula. So we're going to continue building this formula that we've been working on through the videos on this playlist. And to do so, I'm going to start. You'll see that there's some new items here, but I'm going to ignore them for a moment. I'm going to come down here to the bottom, and I just want to clean this up a little bit down here. So the first thing is I want to get this centered here. So I'm just going to center these, and then I'm going to change some of the colors here. So I just want to add a little bit of color so that we can highlight everything so it's nice and easy on the eye. So for along the top, I'm going to put this darker color right here. It's kind of whatever that color is. I'm going to put that there along the top, and then for all of these, I'm going to go with a slightly lighter color just to highlight them. So we'll go with a slightly lighter color. And then down here on the bottom for my final answer, I'm going to right-click Format Cells again, and I'm going to go back to that little bit darker color just to make some things stand out. So now we got this looking a little better down here, and these tax brackets, right now, of course, these are just tax brackets I made up. I just made numbers up and put them in. We'll put some real numbers in here later on, and we'll play with this once we get this final thing, this final calculator built. We'll come in and we'll play with these. Now, the other thing I want to set up here is I want to set up a paycheck stub. So the way we're going to set up a paycheck stub, you can see that I've added things, and you'll want to just pause me for a second and add these yourself. We're going to start here on A14. We're going to have the different categories listed on your paycheck stub. And then along the top, we're going to have your tax rates that you face for different things, your income, your spouse's income, and your total income. And we're going to build what a paycheck stub might look like. So let's start with the federal. Now, federal, we don't have to put anything because your federal taxes are being calculated by all this craziness down here that's going to feed into all this craziness up here. So that's being handled. We've already dealt with the federal taxes, so we're not going to deal with those right now. Social Security, Medicare, state taxes, local taxes, unemployment taxes. We're going to add those. So before we do that, we want to format these cells. So from Social Security down to unemployment, we want to format these cells, and we want them to be, here we go, we want to go in a number, and we want those to be percentages. So we're going to put percentages in here, and I'm going to go to 2 decimal places on them. So that's going to format these cells. And then let's put our tax information in here. So Social Security is, at least the time that I'm doing this video, is 6.2%. That, by the way, that number will, if you are self-employed, you would have to change that number because Social Security, if you're self-employed, your Social Security tax would double. I'm sorry to tell you that. So it would be 12.4%. But assuming that you work for somebody, it would be 6.2%. Medicare tax, at the time I'm doing this video, this is in the year 2018, the Medicare tax is 1.45%, I believe. The state tax where I am is 3.07%. The local tax, I'm going to put 1%. And then the unemployment tax, this is kind of an odd one. It's let's see if I get this right, 0.0699%. So no, I did not get that right. Let me try that again. I'm going to have to type that in as 0.000699, and let me see if that turns that into the right percent. It does. It's rounding to 0.07%. Okay, so those are the different taxes that we'll face on our paycheck stub. And again, these you might have to add or subtract some things depending upon how the laws change and so on. And then we want to format these. So I'm gonna center this information. So just gonna center that right there. Those are gonna be your tax rates, and that's gonna feed in to calculating different items on your paycheck. All right. Now, before we move on, let's just kind of make this look a little nicer, and then we'll put some numbers into it. So I'm going to format the cell. Again, you do whatever colors you want to do here. I'm going to go with whatever these colors are right here. So I'm going to go with this color, some kind of orange color, whatever. And then down below all of these, I'm going to do as a little bit lighter color. So we'll go one lighter, go with this guy, whatever that color is. And then finally here, your net paycheck at the end, that's going to go down here. We'll make that number, or we'll make that cell a little darker color again, just so it kind of stands out for us and we can see what we're doing. Okay, so there it is. There's all your numbers. Now, I'm going to make a change to something that we have up here. So here, this was something data that we were just inputting here. But now what I'm going to do is we're going to take our incomes, our spouse income and your income, and we're going to actually input those down here. We're going to input those down here and let them feed into this number. Okay? So let's first do this. Let's first take all of these cells in here. And these cells, we need to format those, and we need to make those be under numbers. We need to make those be currencies, and of course we're going to use dollars. Okay, so those are all going to be currencies, and we'll just make a number up here. Let's say your income is $55,000 a year, and let's say you have a spouse and their income is $23,000 a year. I'm just making numbers up. And so then what we want to do, and let's just highlight this and center these. Let's just center those numbers right there. Actually, let's just move those back. Maybe I'll come back and center those. I'm not sure if I want those centered or not. So what I want to do is I now want to make my family income be equal to my income plus my spouse's income, right? So then what I'm going to say is that this cell is equal to cell C15 plus cell D15, right? So that way, my family income, we can put in your income, your spouse's income, and that's going to feed into your family income, and then boom, that's automatically going to generate all the stuff down here, which is then going to calculate your taxes, and then it's going to come back up here, subtract away your tax credit, and get you a final number. All right? So this is going to be the original input of your income is now going to go right here. Okay? That's now going to go right here. So now we got the paycheck stub. We have it set up. We got some formulas we got to put in here, but we got it set up, and we have it feeding now into your family income. All right, so I'm going to stop there in this video. In the next video, we're going to fill in the formulas for the paycheck stubs and get all this working, and then we're going to be pretty close to finishing this personal income tax calculator. All right, so this has been Mr. Hagan on another podcast. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the next podcast.